Question. How do we call him? He gave us a signal.
What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It is your boy Trey of the Bat Channel. We are live once again from the Bat Cave. But as always, before we begin, I have to bring in the best co-host I could ever ask for, Super Bro Corey.
Hey, I'm still the best co-host ever.
We'll see. It could change. It could change depending on what you do tonight. Depending on what you do tonight, sir, you might be out of a jab. I'm just kidding.
Ooh, man, nice. Maybe Batman could take over and.
No! I see Batman in the house too. What's up, Lucas Ironside?
And
I see Batman doing a hashtag. I'm not even gonna say it.
No,
not even going to say it because I ain't.
Even Batman who did that. That wasn't even Batman who did that. No, man, what is up, buddy? Like, it's been, a crazy few days. Easter was good. I had a good time with it. We had a great show on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I remember asking you, like, hey, Trey, when do you think our next live show will be? And you're like, probably Thursday or something. And if my calculations are correct, today is not Thursday.
No, sir, it is not. It is not, unfortunately.
So here's the funny thing. Thursday. It'd be even better if it was Friday.
Right? Yeah. Well, yesterday I was celebrating 8 years of dating my now wife. Yeah.
8 years.
Right. And literally, as she comes home from work, I was, getting all the news about Ezra Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I'm thinking, oh, well, shit, I got to talk about this. Like we got to do a show. But of course my wife just looks at me and she's like, you get your ass up and we're going to dinner tonight. I was like, damn it. And literally she tells me in the middle of our dinner, she's like, can you put your phone away? And pay attention. I was just like, yes, ma'am.
I should have got on and did a show.
You know what, Super Bro Corey? You are always welcome to. You are always welcome to do a show all by your lonesome.
By my lonesome.
Who all do we have in the chat? It seems like we're going crazy tonight.
It is insane tonight. We got a lot of people here. Of course, we mentioned Bat Dan, 9 Lives in Hell, Red Hooded Outlaw, Trevor H, Mr. Mayhem, Sith Holocron, the Restore the Snyderverse guy, Bat Fanatic, Jesse Allen. We have Dadpool in the house.
Jesse, South Cali guy. What's up, my
Cali
man?
Guy. Necron. We got Snyder Queen, and no Necron. My goodness. Yeah.
Snyder
we
Queen,
got Hunter
Iggy. What's up, my man? How's it going, Hunter? Hope all's been
Kelly.
Well. Carrie
Have
Kelly.
I said the Batman Who Laughs? I know we had
loving the Jurassic World vids. Thank you. I appreciate that. We do have a new Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 5 teaser reaction review breakdown, Season 4 review, because I know some of you guys have been asking about our Season 4 review because we never did it because it happened literally right before we had to put our dog down, and that's when I took a 2-month break.
Sith Holocron. We got Baruno.
Baruno. what's up, my man?
Super Bat Mom, Joker's
Duh.
Wild,
Joker's
the
wild, man. Just the Butler.
Am I
Everyone's here tonight.
missing? We got
I'm
Eric
loving this.
Patterson,
It is good
Jesse
to see you
Allen,
all.
BX Legend 25. What is
BX Legend,
up,
hashtag
boys?
world's finest. You know, I always
Neo
dig that.
Sevens in the house.
Neo Sevens, my man.
Yeah, we
You
got
guys.
everybody here tonight. I'm loving it.
You guys.
I got to you.
What am I? Chopped liver? Super bad, Mom. You are never chopped liver. You are amazing. But this guy we got to get rid of. Dadpool, we can't have him here. No, I'm just kidding.
Get him
Dadpool's
out
up in
of
the house.
here.
What are we drinking tonight? Tonight, because I'm super tired. To let you guys know real quick, like normally I don't like to do live shows on Wednesdays. It's partly because
to do live shows on Wednesdays.
Right. Well, it's because I go into the office, for work, and for me to get home in time and to prepare a live show, it gets a little crazy because I like to do research. I like to be prepared and have a good, clean show for you guys. And tonight, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little wonky, but like we're just gonna go for it because I'm at least educated enough to give some opinions and talk to you guys about what's going on. But I do need some energy, so I'm doing some Zoas. No, that's not a plug for Zoas. I'm just saying I'm drinking Zoas because I don't get paid by Dwayne Johnson. Hashtag world's finest. I love it. What are you drinking, Corey?
Just some ice water right now, but in a few minutes here, I was going to grab another Shiner Bock. So
you have some Shiner Bocks and you ain't sharing?
I got some Shiner Bocks, yes.
How dare
Been
you?
on a Shiner Bock frenzy lately.
Well, guys, it is always so wonderful to have you all here, but it always helps us out when you guys, one, smash that like. You share this video on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you guys want to share it. Get your friends in the chat because the more people we have in the live chat, the funner it is because we get to have actual discussions with you guys rather than us just really kind of talking at you. It's good to have a good conversation with you guys, hear some different opinions than ours, and maybe hearing if you guys think, we're kind of in the right zone. You guys think we're not talking crazy, but we often do. So please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you feel like supporting our channel even further, super chats go a very, very long way to helping us out. When you guys send us money, it goes right back into the show. Most of the time we donate it. But see, Neo 7's already in the house. Here's some energy. Thank you, sir, for that $5 super chat. See, when you give the little super chat, you are gonna pump me up a little bit. I'm feeling good and loved and supported inside. So my man, Neo 7's. Thank you, brother, for that $5 super chat. It really does mean a lot. I appreciate your support. Super Bro Corey, can we play my man a little thank you? Because this is what we do for you guys when you show us some love.
And he had us. Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Let's get some nuts.
That's actually a pretty good vid to play for today because shit has been getting nuts.
Yes, I thought it was
gonna have nuts in it, Corey.
That's the hardest part for picking the videos. I'm like, which one do I want to play? Which one do I want to play?
There's some good ones.
Yeah,
we have a lot of funny ones.
Yeah,
I do like it. Neo 7, thank you so much, brother, for that $5 super chat. Like I said, it does go a long way to help supporting our channel. To just make things better. I would like to get new cameras and stuff like that, and it also helps like go back into like renewing our subscriptions to like StreamYard and all the different things that we do to review and talk about different entertainment stuff for you guys. So thank you so much, Neo 7's, and for anyone else who eventually will do super chats. It really does mean the world. We got some more fun clips for you guys. But Corey, let's get into our show tonight. Let's go ahead and we're gonna start off easy, and then we're gonna prepare for some hard times. Okay, the first scene is the Batman is now on HBO Max. Apparently on its first day of no, Corey, don't sing that song. I know what you're thinking. It's not something in the way for Corey. Corey's singing this parody song that just needs to go away. Batman is now on HBO Max, and apparently it did pretty darn good for its first day of streaming. It did about Peacemaker numbers. which, as we already know, it made HBO Max excited for
That's
Peacemaker.
horrible.
What's
That's
that?
horrible. That, to be honest, though, if Peacemaker did that, that's horrible then for a Batman film.
I won't say much to it because it's, to me, no matter what, the Batman didn't break 800 million, at least from what I've heard. It hasn't broke 800 million yet. As you guys already know, I liked the film. Was it my favorite solo Batman film of all time? No. But I thought it was solid. But I had issues with it. But 720,000 people watched it on its first day of streaming. That's according to Samba TV. Take it for what you will if you think that's good. Me personally, I still think one of the worst decisions Warner Brothers made was to tell people before the Batman was released in theaters that, hey, we're going to have it on HBO Max on this day, because I think it would have made more money if they didn't tell anybody, because people then would have just said, okay, I'll go see it, and not wait for it to be on HBO Max when they've already paid for HBO Max. So that's my feelings towards it. Take it for what you will. 720,000. That's a word on the street.
This kind of cracks me up here, Trey. Could you imagine if Peacemaker is the last time we see Ezra as Flash?
In a word, hurtful. It's every time. You know what I need to do, Corey? I need to clip why did you say that name every time someone says the word Peacemaker, because ever since I did that Justice League reaction with my wife, those Peacemaker fans, they just don't like me. They hate me. My man.
But to be honest, though, the Peacemaker fans, they ain't showing up, big fellow.
No, they not. They definitely not showing up, and they never will. Well, other than I guess for Peacemaker, but it has its audience. If it's for you, congratulations, enjoy it. You have a show for you. It's not for me. But El Necron, my man, coming in with a $10 super chat. I always love El Necron's little profile picture of from Godzilla. God, is that Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla? The first one? Might have been. But I always love that. But you say, love your channel and attitude. Thank you, dude. That means a lot. I try to stay positive. It's important to me to be fairly positive. And not only that, to be honest. When I don't like something, like you would expect the Bat channel to just love everything that is Batman and just tell you it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But no, I can be honest with you and say the Batman was pretty good. But there was a lot of issues with it too. There's some things they got to tweak, and honestly, some things that, as I said before in our spoiler review, like I'm more excited for the sequel of the Batman if they ever greenlight it, than I am. Then I enjoyed the first film, because I think if the second film pays off a lot of the things they left over in the first film, then maybe I'll appreciate it more. But for now, it was solid. Good film, better than Batman and Robin. I'll say that. Come on, man. You can't even argue that. It was definitely better than Batman and Robin.
Man, that's childhood Batman.
Well, I mean, sure, it's childhood Batman, but even I can say the bat nipples are too far. I know they did that to Val Kilmer too, but I would say it for Val Kilmer as well. But thank you so much, brother, for your $10 super chat. Corey, can we play my man El Necron a little diddly to say our thanks?
I think this one is okay.
This one, that one, the other one.
Well,
my man, you're leaving him in suspense. Just play him something.
Okay, I'll play this one.
Well.
Oh, you made me literally choke on my drink. There.
I love his smile at the end, because it's like, love your channel and attitude. We love you guys.
Val Kilmer loves your attitude, man. You made him smile like that. You gotta love it.
No, actually, Trey, it's funny that you say that. The thing that it kind of concerns me a little bit today is we've already got some great super chats already, but I know there's a few super chats with a certain somebody in there. So,
what do you mean by that?
Ezra Miller's in a few of our super chats.
Well, I mean, it's not like Ezra Miller is just like, at least to us, like, oh my God, you know. We'll talk about Ezra Miller. He's obviously gonna be our main topic today that we're really
We're
going to
talking
dive
about Ezra
into.
Miller today.
Who's not talking about Ezra Miller today? You know, like,
Dude, even people at work were talking about Ezra Miller.
Yeah, same for me. Even
Mhm.
like, you know, at my office, Ezra Miller came up quite a bit. Unfortunately, not obviously not in a good way, but we'll discuss it. Because I look at it as like, I'm a DC fan, right? Like I'm a DC, and I love the Snyder stuff, Snyderverse. I'm all for it. And when you have people, but like other people around me are usually general audience people. That's who I consider. They're not really in the know of DC stuff. Like literally my boss and all my coworkers come to me and ask about what's going on with DC and Warner Brothers. Like, oh, what's going on there? Like, so they have no idea. They don't know all the back stuff that's going on. Here I can tell them, and even they are talking about what's going on. So when that happens, that usually tells me that's a very big deal. Lucas Ironside says, is Samba TV reliable? Well, I'll put it this way. I mean, we don't really get any other sources. Like they don't really, HBO Max especially hasn't really released a lot of information. I'm trying to think, the Nielsen, stats, they never really released that. So really our only thing to go off of that has some merit to it is Samba TV. Now, is it accurate? I couldn't tell you because I don't know exactly how they're pulling their numbers. I know Sil Abdul did a show with some of those cats, but the fact that they're the only ones really pulling, analytics and things like that to see what a good estimate is, I say it's fairly reliable. Could it be off? Sure. Yeah. Peacemaker sucks, the big one. Well, John Cena is a nice guy.
I have to be honest with you. I might be one of those views. The 720,000 on the first day of streaming. Because what day was that?
Monday.
Oh yeah. So I am one of those. So get
Super Bro Corey supporting the Batman. Hashtag not a real Superman fan.
No. It gets great. So I turned on HBO Max, getting ready to head back up to the house, but hanging out with Dad. And we're like, what do you want to watch during the middle of the day while we're just kind of chilling out,
Yeah.
Saw that the Batman was on, and it said it was new. I was like, oh, they finally put it on HBO Max. And I was like, Dad, you want to check it out? He's like, is this the one that you're not a big fan of? I was like, yeah, but I think everybody should at least give it a chance and watch it. Well, we started watching it, and we probably made it. We didn't even get to Batman. We made it to the initial appearance of the Riddler, and Dad was like, "Is it this dark the entire time?"
In all fairness, Dad is not the best person to be like, does he like a movie? Dad falls asleep in some of the greatest films of all time.
He was like, I already lost interest. Let's watch something else. So we did it. We got past. We literally turned it off right when he just got done killing the mayor of Gotham. Yeah. So was that 5 minutes or so?
Jesus. Happy 420, everyone. Well, for us, 420 is not exactly the greatest day in the world in terms of Colorado. 420 is also the day of Columbine. So
nowadays it's more known for.
I know nowadays it's become kind of a more of a different type of holiday, but I don't partake in that area, but even though I'm from Colorado, I know people are always so surprised. They're like, oh my God, you're from Colorado. How's the weed? I don't know, other than I smell it every day when driving through Colorado. But,
and look what
hashtag not a real Superman fan. Right. Laugh out loud. Peacemaker. Why did you say that name? Exactly. Every time someone says Peacemaker.
This was Dad watching the Batman.
Jesus. hurtful.
Within the first 5 minutes, we didn't even get to
Deadpool
see
can't even
Batman.
talk because he just likes Deadpool. That's just his dude.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Scuba. The Batman is so long. I don't know why it was just easier to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think
Right.
partly because Zack Snyder's Justice League had more action, to it, more fast-paced stuff than the Batman. The Batman was when they said it's a David Fincher style film, that was the perfect description for that film. Slow but character driving, that's really all it was to it. Looks like Deadpool fell asleep during the greatest show on YouTube.
I can't blame him.
What a dick. No, I'm just kidding.
Hashtag not a real Colorado
resident.
That's true.
My God. Apparently. I was born in Florida, so I guess not. But yeah, so anyways, the Batman did fairly well on HBO Max. We'll see what technically, I believe this is its final weekend upcoming for the Batman in theaters. Before, we kind of solidify what the numbers are. It's not looking like it's going to break 800 though, from what I've heard. But Corey, let's go ahead and go to our next slide. The one thing I am super excited and happy to talk about, we have a Rebel Moon update of Mr. Zack Snyder. Netflix. We'll talk about Netflix too. Kind of crazy shit going on in Netflix land. I don't know if Nicotina, my man. What's up, Nicotina? It's always good to see you, brother. Guys, if you don't know, Nicotina has a YouTube show that you guys should check out. But he has been doing, I think, Project Justice League or Project Justice. I don't know. I feel like I messed that up. Nicotina, if I mess it up, I apologize. Feel free to put your YouTube channel link into this, into the live chat so people can find you out, or you could just click on the thing that says go to channel, but however you guys want to do it. But he's doing a really cool motion comic thing, Project Justice League. Thank you, Nicotina. That I actually watched a few of the clips. I heard the Batman teaser that you guys did. You even got the voice modulation going down. I dig it. The Green Lantern thing looks cool. I can't wait to see when that project comes out. I hope it turns out as good as from what it looks so far. So keep up the good work, Nicotina. It's looking good. And plus, you're a Journey fan. I have to support you, man. I have to support you because I love Journey. Yes, Journey the band. Journey's my group. But bring on a Rebel Moon, Eric Patterson. I couldn't agree more, my man. Rebel Moon is just looking better and better as time goes on. Corey, can you go to our next slide, please? As we all learned from Zack Snyder and the crew, this week has started filming for Rebel Moon. Both they're going to be doing part 1 and 2, Corey. That's how much Netflix trusts Zack Snyder.
Man.
Can you imagine that? They're just like, bro, like we're going to already guarantee you a sequel. Like you don't even need to worry. Just go do your thing. Make us all this great content and IP, for Netflix that we can just market the hell out of.
Oh man, they are so smart.
Right? I mean, and
so they're doing that. 1 and 2,
literally taking the pressure off Zack to just make a good film.
They're doing 1 and 2 right now, though.
1 and 2 right now, filming back to back.
Wow, that means he's going to be editing for a while.
Sure, but I mean, we both know Zack can do a lot at once. He's a man that can stay busy and get the work done. I mean, he was doing Zack Snyder's Justice League while he was working with stuff for Army of the Dead, so he'll be fine. Especially he keeps saying he wants to come back. So for any one of those silly people who are like, hey, he's gonna be too busy over at Netflix. Well, I think he is going to be busy at Netflix. Let the man decide. Let him choose. Journey rocks. I bet, man. Arnell's amazing. Though I heard Dean Castronovo's drumming again with him, which is interesting ever since those charges happened a few years back. But I mean, hopefully he's changed his ways. Funny that we're going to be talking about that and that he's off to a good path now. But it's good to see him drumming again for Journey too.
I love this comment by Lucas Erickson. I'm happy that Netflix is treating Zack right.
Exactly. It's such a great partnership. They're really giving him all the creative freedom to do what he wants to do and to and they're supporting him financially to get it done. I think it's over $250 million they've given him to do both these films. So, I mean, Netflix is just killing it. I mean, and look at that, dude. That is the set looks cool. The armor looks amazing. Like it just looks like it's gonna be an intense film. I can't wait to see Ray Fisher as Blood Axe, in his full getup. I bet Ray Fisher is gonna look insane. And the
Is that
cast,
Ray Fisher there?
no, that's
Okay,
not Ray
no.
Fisher. You've seen him, Corey, from other things like Gladiator. He was in
I didn't
a
take
lot
a
of the
look at
Marvel
the
films.
slides,
He's
of
been in
course. Oh, yeah,
Shazam,
that's not him.
Aquaman. What's that?
That's not him. I didn't take a look at your slides before the show today.
I know you did it. You just hurting my feelings all over, Corey. Just not even paying attention. Well, hurtful. But Jaman Hansu, I think it is Jaman Hansu. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but he's a wonderful actor. Like you said, he was in Gladiator and was just phenomenal in that. And he's going to kill it in this. So I just can't wait. As the more and more we learn about this film, Junkie XL going to be doing the music, the score for it. It's just going to be a giant epic. And when you let Zach have full freedom, it's just going to blow up. So it's going to be crazy. Rebel Moon, the Star Wars movie we wanted, I bet. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, like, it is his version of what he wanted to do with a Star Wars IP, but I'm sure it's going to be a little hardcore. Probably too hardcore for Disney. But it's looking good. Clay Stobbs posted that picture. Let's begin. Congratulations, Zack Snyder. The producers are posting the film slate. Rebel Moon is in motion. Just gears turning like crazy. It's going to be good. We'll keep letting you guys know more and more about it as we hear more. But I think the fact that Rebel Moon is already getting hype from Empire magazine and some other different, I think even Sci-Fi Network posted about it, talking about how they're just so excited. There's a lot of hype surrounding Rebel Moon. People think this is going to be the next big thing. And I believe it. I believe the hype. I think it's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised, knock on wood, if it's one of Netflix's biggest, films of all time. I'm just going to call it. But speaking, Corey, of Netflix, Corey, have you heard about Netflix?
No. What is Netflix?
What is Netflix? What is Netflix, Corey? I hope no one owns stock in Netflix.
Ruh-roh.
It's been tanking.
How's it now?
Tanking. Ruh-roh. Netflix shares plummeted by 35.1% following yesterday's earnings report, losing $54.3 billion virtually overnight. It was the biggest one-day drop in Netflix's history.
Sell.
Yeah, sell now, sell. So guys, tell me statistics. What do you think this is about? Obviously, we heard in recent news that Netflix has decided that they're not going to allow for password sharing anymore, that people are going to have to individually buy Netflix. So Corey can't be a mooch anymore every time Zack Snyder releases Army of the Dead or Thieves, Army of Thieves and stuff like that. Just telling you the truth, Corey. You're a mooch. You're a real mooch.
Sometimes.
Corey, what do you think is the cause of this? Do you think this is
it's simple, Trey? Elon Musk sold all the shares to buy Twitter.
Oh, did Elon Musk have?
I don't know if he did. He know.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, you had me there, bro.
No, I think it's probably a combination of things. I think that their content really, minus Zack Snyder stuff, what is there to really watch on Netflix right now? We got Manifest.
Anyone who says that doesn't have Netflix.
Yeah, no, but
so what would you know? Netflix has a shit ton. I will still say Netflix, out of all the streaming services, is the best, other than Disney Plus.
Over Disney Plus?
Yeah, because here's the thing with Disney Plus. Like, yes, Disney Plus does great stuff, but really, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Disney Plus is certainly, it's growing towards to be the next big streaming service over Netflix easily. Yeah, I would agree with that, because you have the Star Wars IP, you have the Marvel IP, you have Disney IP, right? Like, you're just going to kill it in everything in that department, because Disney just tends to sell, right? But Netflix has created original content that is phenomenal in terms of Stranger Things. I truly believe, Corey, you've never seen Stranger Things. Stranger Things, phenomenal show. You would be absolutely a fan of it.
I try to watch it once with you, and I just didn't get into it right away.
You watched Stranger Things?
We watched some of it together. You were trying to get me out. I think I fell asleep, to be honest with you.
It's probably because you were tired. You weren't paying. Like, if you love Ghostbusters and that 80s kind of sci-fi film, like, you're gonna love Stranger Things.
I would say, though, like, I think Netflix is just pissing a lot of people off right now. They raised the rates recently, and now they're coming out with this whole, mooch protection. Yeah. I'm not a fan, man. I'm not a fan. No,
well, I mean, in all honesty, it does make sense. Like, at some point, Netflix is so large that they're not going to be able to gain any more money, right? So how else do you gain money? You tell the people who are mooching off of others, you can no longer do that. You have to buy your own subscription. It was going to happen at some point, Now, this is a brilliant way of possibly like saying to the natural audience that we do kind of control that streaming services success. They kind of figured like, hey, we're big, we can tell you what to do. You're going to buy a subscription because you love Netflix. And possibly if you look at it from the standpoint of fans being like, no, I'm not going to buy my own subscription, screw Netflix, like, then that kind of forces Netflix to go, oh god, we lost $54.3 billion in stocks. Like,
for sure. But I think it's poor taste. They raise rates for a reason. If you're like Vudu, for example, if I watch a movie and you watch the same movie, it's going to kick me off from watching Vudu.
Yeah. Or does it do that?
Yeah.
I have never noticed that, but maybe
I've
we don't
noticed.
watch the same movies. Yeah. You've noticed?
I'm like, Trey, you watching this movie? He's like, yeah.
It's like, stop. Well, because see, I tried clicking on Spider-Man No Way Home the other day, and I'm like, God dang it, Corey, he's still watching that film. Just kidding.
It's a great movie.
It is a good movie. I
like what let me see.
Super Mooch, Corey. That is a thing right there.
Let me see here. There's a good comment that I really liked. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Disney also the content more than just original content. Disney Plus really has kid stuff. What about yes, this comment here. What about people who live in multiple places? Like you were the one who came up here and turned to net. Like I wasn't watching Netflix.
Don't tell my wife that she didn't know that I shared the Netflix account.
She's not going to watch this show, so I'm not worried about it anyway. So, yeah,
there is actually a lot of truth in
that. I can say, no. You came up here, you put in your password on the TV, and we watched the movie. Now, have I watched some stuff since? Maybe not. Most likely I did. And I've done it a lot. No, I think that, you came up here, you logged in, logged out, how are they going to do it? It doesn't make sense to me. I think it's just charge a little bit extra, go for that, which they have, keep raising rates. We're going to continue to find ways around it. We don't care. I will continue to mooch until they have Manifest on.
Oh, until Jesus. Well, I mean, that's smart because you're letting Netflix know when you subscribe right before Manifest that you're doing it for that reason. I think essentially how they're going to do it, in a way, it's still password sharing. I haven't really heard exactly how they're going to achieve this incredible thing. But my guess is, your internet went down. Oh, that sucks, Snyder Green, but I'm glad you're back. Thank you for being back. I think how they're going to achieve it is simply by putting a limit to how many devices you can connect to Netflix. Yes. Not at once, but simply like you're going to have to say this device has Netflix, this device has my Netflix account, this device has Netflix account. You get like maybe three devices that you can connect Netflix to. And then they're going to, upcharge you to add more devices or something like that. That would be my guess.
But
yeah.
I feel like as long as you log out of one of the other ones and log into somewhere else.
Well,
it
I
should
mean,
be-
how you would have to
because
do that though, I mean, it is a bit of a process. Like you have to like go to the account. You're like, it's
that's
not something like you
that
just
and
don't
that right
watch
there.
Netflix on your app.
And that right there is why they're losing people. That was the whole point of Netflix and the whole point of streaming. You, like Bat Dan said, you should be able to, like when we go to VRBOs or when we go to a cabin and we want to watch a movie, we want to log in there. We shouldn't have to do, the whole process of everything, to go through 5 million steps to get into my stupid Netflix account. That will piss me off, to be honest with you.
That's fair. I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, it's one of those things. Like, I get it. It's business, right? Like, how are you going to earn more money when already you're the number one streaming service of the world? It's a natural progression. It's a natural thing that we're going to do. And, this is also a natural reaction that people are going to have to such a power move that Netflix made.
You know what,
HBO
Trey?
Max is the best. Out of curiosity, come from Scuba, what do you watch what do you watch on HBO Max?
I'd be curious. What are people's favorite streaming service right now? Put in the chat. What's your favorite streaming service? So Kung Fu obviously said HBO. Offers lower rates. Netflix. If you are one of the customers, you are not allowed to live in multiple places unless you pay extra more. Pretty much. Ryan Swayze, what's up, brother? You want to know what I think is the best streaming service, Trey? Hulu.
What?
I love Hulu.
Why?
Why? I'll tell you why, Trey. That's why, Trey. Thank you, Bat Dan. Hulu has Smallville on it.
Corey, you have Smallville on Vudu. You could watch Smallville at any time you want.
Yes, I purchased it on Vudu, but it doesn't show up like what's the next episode as nicely on Vudu yet. They need to fix that on Vudu. Vudu, if you're watching, fix that. I want to be able to just like start back up where you left off. Hulu does that for me. Another one that I mooch off of.
Jesus, my God. You guys are so ridiculous. Bat Dan, I'm about to shut you down again.
Oh man! All right. These comments are great. These so great. All right. So Restore the Snyderverse guy says Netflix. So we have Bat Fanatic Netflix, Carrie Kelly Netflix. So that's 3 for Netflix. Bat Dan is HBO Max. It has DC and South Park. I agree. And those South Park COVID episodes have been absolutely hilarious. Oracle's Clock Tower said Netflix, so we got 4-1. Ryan Swayze with Amazon Prime. Netflix 5. Necron, my boy. I agree with you there.
Oh my God, Necron. Well, this show is definitely not for kids. I've used Netflix more than the others. Same. Netflix has more content for me. HBO Max, literally at this point, the only reason why I've watched HBO Max was for Zack Snyder's Justice League and another DC content. Nothing. They really don't have anything else. Great HBO Max.
Look at Bat Dan, man. He's just trolling you tonight, buddy.
Bat Dan, I will shut you down, dude. I love you, but I will do it. Don't push me. Oh, God dang it. Bat Dan, for once, this is for you, Corey, and that is it. Just give it to him. Give it to him. Just give it to him just one time. That is true. Somebody say
hello, Kristen, in that one.
That's some love, Bat Dan. That's some love right there. That you
right?
know I have nothing but good love and respect for you, bro.
No, it looks like for the most part, yeah, everybody's saying Netflix. Dad hit us up with a Philo.
Come on, man. No, but For convenience and quality of life is important. You're more inclined to keep watching if presented with more episodes without hunting for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a wonderful point. Come to Scuba, Godzilla versus Kong, all the DC animated stuff. They have Spawn. Oh, I didn't realize they had the Spawn animated series. Yeah, I actually, that is true. Okay, I will give you that. I have watched all of the Godzilla films on there, and I don't just mean the MonsterVerse. I watched like some of my old favorite like early day Godzilla films, from the Shower era and stuff like that, and the Hensei era and stuff like that. Yeah, I love the old Godzilla films. $500 for a Hallmark Channel. Jesus.
Right.
Love out true love right there. Yeah, Bat Dance. No. HBO Max has Samurai Jack. Oh my god, I haven't seen Samurai Jack in forever. God, yeah, good stuff right there. You're welcome, Bat Dan. You're welcome.
Thank you, Bat Dan.
Okay, so it sounds like Netflix
is clearly the winner, obviously.
Modest theme song now.
Yeah, somebody say me, which is true. I am surprised Smallville hasn't moved to HBO Max yet. That's actually
I agree with that. That is a bit interesting of a choice. Maybe, I don't know. I don't understand why they wouldn't put it on there, other than I'm guessing maybe they don't own the rights.
They probably no. Hulu probably paid for a contract for it, and they have so many years with it, and
good point. Yeah, there's probably
just like another reason why Netflix should have lost $54.3 billion literally overnight was when they got rid of The Office. How dare they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think about it, like in terms of all the streaming services, Amazon Prime has some good stuff. Let's see. Kung Fu Scuba says Paramount Plus is the worst one. They literally only have Halo and Halo and Star Trek, and 1883. That's literally all they have. So yeah, if there's one streaming service that really needs to up its game, it's Paramount Plus at the moment. I bought Paramount Plus simply so I could watch Star Trek and Halo.
Yeah.
And also so I could review it for you guys who don't have Paramount Plus,
Oh, that's Netflix. Interesting. Paramount Plus crashes like crazy. I haven't had that issue.
I haven't had that issue either, Bat Dan. That sucks. Not sure why it's doing that for you. Maybe it's because you're just nonstop Smallville. I'm just kidding.
That would have been Hulu, Trey.
Hulu. Space, the final frontier. But yeah, so
Netflix sucking right now.
Netflix is in a bit of a crunch, and part of me is kind of like, well, maybe it's a sign that the movie theaters are coming back. But at the same time, we'll talk about something with the movie theaters, especially with Fantastic Beast. That was released this last weekend. I haven't seen it yet. I plan to. El Necron, how is Halo doing? In terms of ratings, I know that the first episode broke Paramount Plus records. Now, with that being said, Paramount Plus records weren't significantly high in the first place because there's not a ton on there, but currently the record holder for, opening day, streaming is Halo over 1883. They haven't greenlighted a season 2 as far as I've heard.
I hate when you say that. I keep saying it 3 times in a row now.
Yes, I know, but Corey, that is what the headlines in the articles read. So I have to go by what they say, even though there is, an asterisk next to 1883. So just take it for what it is, Super Bro.
Fake news.
Fake news. Company Scuba says HBO also has Mortal Kombat the movie, and the animated movies are really good. I haven't watched the animated movies. Here's the thing as well, though. I feel like HBO Max is about to lose a lot of content because of Universal. I think isn't Universal Peacock? So I think they're gonna start pulling over. I mean, Netflix eventually I can see losing Jurassic World IP because Universal has their own streaming service. I think Camp Cretaceous season 5 is gonna be their last Netflix thing that they have, and
that's why Netflix has to make their own content right now, and that's why they're doubling down on Zack Snyder, because they're about to lose all their shit.
That there's probably a lot of truth to that. I mean, they did lose all of their Marvel stuff to Disney Plus because that's where it is now. Episode 3 was my favorite. I like all the Cortana stuff. Oh yeah, especially with Jen Taylor back, Kung Fu Scuba. It's It's been phenomenal. I don't know about Moon Knight. As a fan, I want to see my superheroes in the suit. Yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes of Moon Knight. I don't know really anything about Moon Knight other than I know my father-in-law once said he was a ripoff of Batman, basically. So I was interested, and I watched the first 2 shows, and it's not bad. I'm also not crazy about it. I literally like when he's in his typical costume that you've seen in the the comics. I don't remember which is it Steve? I can't remember. Whichever one is the cool badass version, not the silly kind of comical one. I'm not a fan of his split personality, whatever his name is. One thing I like about the Batman is that he was in his suit a lot. Love that. Can't buy his Bruce Wayne though. Leave the suit on. Right? Yeah. Well, I hated the cowl though. Hated the cowl. In the media entertainment world, content is king. Exactly. The more content you have, and that's why I say Disney Plus is killing it, because they have so much freaking content. And they're just, and it's not only that, successful content that already has a huge following. Star Trek for Paramount Plus, it used to have a huge following, but it's not what it used to be. They're trying to find that new generation that's going to carry Star Trek. Halo, you got right now gaming fans who are pissed off of what you did to Halo, so you lost that audience for the most part. And then you got HBO Max. Most people are there for the DC stuff and some other content, so they have IP that they could bank off of, but they're not right now. I mean, at least not yet. And then you got Amazon Prime, which is creating some pretty cool original content with the Jack Reacher, the Jack Ryan, and even that film that Chris Pratt was in that was phenomenal. I'm totally spacing the name of it, but that was a great movie. So Amazon Prime is coming up with some cool stuff, and now they have James Bond IP, so I'm sure they're going to bank off that and this Lord of the Rings theme that they're making. But I've heard a lot of bad things about it, so I've based off all some content creators that I watch, it seems like there's a lot of hate going on from Lord of the Rings fans on this new Amazon thing. I'm going to watch it because I love Lord of the Rings and I love that whole lore, but I'm even nervous. I'm enjoying Moon Knight. That's good, Sarah Queen. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad, like I said, I don't want people to go out and just find something to trash on, simply to trash on it. Like, if you're enjoying content that maybe I'm not enjoying, or, that I'm enjoying content that maybe you're not enjoying, there's no shade towards you. Congratulations. You're loving what you're getting your money's worth, have fun, enjoy. That's what entertainment is about, to get lost and enjoy. Amazon Prime also has the free shipping, so their streaming doesn't have to be as good as others. That Danny never disappoint, man. Sorry. But anyways, so Netflix kind of going a little crazy. We'll keep an eye on it to see. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, Rebel Moon is going to get a theatrical release. It is, because Army of the Dead did. The crappy part is theater still, and I work in the theater business, like, I know for a fact there is still hatred and resentment towards Netflix for being the first streaming service. That's the reason why AMC and some other theater chains don't allow Netflix to have ads in their theaters, but not only that, to have, a film release in their theater. Like, they're like, nope, not going to have it. I mean, I think Cinemark is the only theater that has allowed Netflix films to join. That was partly because theaters needed content to play in theater. So Netflix, sure, give me Army of the Dead. I'm sure Netflix will start to integrate more theatrical releases, especially with a guy like Zack Snyder, who's a constant promoter of the theaters. Like, so it's going to happen. Corey,
oh my God, that's Netflix's next move.
What is a theatrical studio?
When the theaters go away, they're gonna, theaters are kind of dying a little bit, right? People are streaming more, stuff like that.
No, I don't think theaters are dying. I think that's a misconception. It's not true, because if that were true, then why did No Way Home make it over $1 billion, almost $2 billion? I agree with Ben Affleck.
They're going to buy their own movie theater company. That's the next thing that
buy their own theater chain.
Yeah.
Well, they're not doing that now after a $54.3 billion loss. They got to earn some money now. But hey, actually, that is a very good idea for Netflix. They actually should consider buying a theater chain.
We need the money. And wouldn't that be that'd be kind of full circle though, you know? They killed Blockbuster.
They killed Blockbuster. Now
they're killing the movie theaters, and then they take it back to.
They're not killing the movie theaters. They
so eventually we'll get Blockbuster back too.
Let's see. I watched Army of the Dead in the Marcus Theater, so more than just cinema. Okay, I didn't realize it was in Marcus Theater, but isn't Marcus Theater a theater chain that's also owned by Cinemark? I think so. I'll have to look that up.
Wait, Netflix did purchase its own theater?
Netflix purchased its own theater because of that? It did?
What?
Which one did it do, Marcus? I haven't heard about this. Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray is in the house. Guys, if you have not already, Ray is the sweetest. Just subscribe to her channel. Like, what are you waiting for? Just stop it. Don't wait. Just subscribe to Raya because she's phenomenal. I love her channel so much. I always am sad because I tend to show up at the very end of her show. Like, just like, hey, Raya. And she's like, good night, everyone. Like, damn it. Guys, just subscribe to Raya. Stop wasting time. Do it. Comfort Scuba says Spider-Man gave the fans a juicy steak. That's why they made it a Billy. Loved that we got to see the other Spider-Man more too. Andrew is my favorite. I agree. Andrew's my favorite too. Yeah, man. It's oh snap. Integrity, guys. As I always say, integrity never disappoints. Integrity just says it how it is. What's up? Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 is inevitable. That's why I respect you, Integrity. You never disappoint because it's all true. All of it. It's always good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
No, Marcus is not owned by Cinemark. Okay. Wasn't sure. I had a feeling that they owned some portion of it, but okay. I'll have to look that up though. But yeah, I mean, back then, during COVID, that was in a weird way, the Egyptian in LA back in 2021. The Egyptian in LA back in 2021. Was that a movie? What was that? Oh, you're saying the Egyptian theater in LA they purchased? Oh, okay. So it's like a single theater, not like their own. Okay, well that's interesting. That Netflix purchased. I'll have to look that up. I didn't realize they did that.
2020 is what he said, actually.
Okay. So yeah, when it comes to Netflix, probably would be a good idea for them to buy a theater chain at some point. I don't see that happening anytime soon at the moment because they have bigger problems that they got to worry about, especially if this continues. Hopefully this is not like people are having like an abandoned ship mentality. I don't think they will because Netflix, all things considering, is still doing fairly well from themselves. And plus this was the first major hit, and it could have been just an initial reaction that people had to some of the news they released. I mean, I don't think Disney at some point, and you know what, Netflix was kind of the first to say it, but for a fact all streaming services were thinking it. They were all contemplating the idea of forcing people to buy their own subscriptions where they couldn't share the passwords, and stuff like that. They couldn't share their subscriptions. So and
to be honest, who knows if that's why Netflix is crashing too.
Exactly. Who knows?
The world right now is kind of in a weird place, and if we really want to dive into it, things are starting to raise in pricing and everything like that. So, people may be pulling out some of their money in the stocks market as well.
There's a lot of truth to that too.
Out before to help, we see gas prices rise and things like that.
Well, I mean, if you even look at Warner Brothers Discovery, their stocks didn't jump as high as they were hoping. I mean, it was kind of like a nice nod, but like,
so I feel like it might be kind of hard to, because clearly everybody here still likes Netflix. They're still top dog.
My man, Zod Rider, you will bow down to Zod. Zod. It's always good to see you, man. Guys, once again, man, I'm feeling the love tonight. Feeling good. Feeling the support. Thank you so much. If guys,
man. Yep. Okay. No, go for it. Yep, you're fine.
Okay. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Zod Rider, just like Raya, just like Nicotina. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
What
Yeah.
are you doing? Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Because the Zod Rider is phenomenal. I love Zod Rider. Zod Rider, when he's on our show, when we've been on Zod Rider show, the man is the man. He is the man.
Yeah.
You will bow down to Zod and subscribe. Just do it.
I
And
agree.
he's coming in hot with that $5 super chat, snapping baby necks. Whoops. Spoiler alert. If you believe in those Reddit leaks, that General Zod's gonna snap some baby necks. Zod Rider over here is snapping the super chats with that stopping by to give you good bros a like. Much love. Hashtag not a real DC channel. Pa-pow.
Pa-pow.
Pa-pow. Zod Rider, it's always good to see you, bro. It's
Always good to see you, Zod.
Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Zod Rider, I've decided I'm gonna make you a little thing every time you show up too. So Corey, can you please play my man Zod Rider?
I was thinking about what I could play for him, and then he put a secondary comment. So let's Somebody save me. Let your warm hands break right through. Somebody save me. Don't care how you do it, just stay. Come on, I've been waiting for you. Thank you, Zod Rider. Oh man,
giving copyright flag. Thank you for that, super bro, Corey.
You're welcome.
Zod Rider, as always, bro. It's always good to see you, my man. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You are awesome. You already know. Thank you so much, guys. Are you guys ready to get into the top news?
Yep.
Okay. So this is unfortunate. Like I said, yesterday, there I was with my wife and my phone blowing up on our 8-year dating anniversary because apparently women like to celebrate multiple anniversaries. Like, you're like your first kiss anniversary, your first dating anniversary, your first engagement anniversary, and marriage anniversary. I'm just kidding. My phone was blowing up, and I really wanted to talk to you guys about it because I was like, damn, like this thing is just crazy, and it's unfortunate, and it's just like horrible timing, and it's just one of those things that we just got to be honest. As I said in our description, like, we have to talk about it because we have to face the harsh reality of what this possibly could mean. The Flash film is in trouble. Ezra was arrested again. Yes, not 2 weeks later. Not good news at all, guys. So Corey, can you go to the next slide, please? Man, so it's this whole situation is super unfortunate. To me, now it's very clear that something is going on in Ezra's life, that whether it's drugs, whether it's just mental shit going on in his life. I mean, the world's already stressful enough, maybe Will Smith breaks, right? And he smacks the hell out of Chris Rock, and people, celebrities are people too. Even when your celebrities are people who play superheroes, right? Superheroes go through crap too. So Ezra Miller, as we know, the day of the Oscars, he was arrested for basically grabbing him, for harassment. He apparently harassed some couple at some karaoke bar in Hawaii and grabs the microphone off of somebody, and then
yelling at the mic.
Yeah, shouted profanities at another dude. So he got arrested after being told to leave multiple times. He got out on bail. They filed a restraining order, but as we learned recently, and we thought it was a win, we were like, oh my God, like this is, while we don't know how they or why they released, their restraining order on him with prejudice, which means immediately, and they can't charge him with anything, and the judge signed off. Now people could say WB paid them off to keep quiet, to be like, hey, can you drop this? We'll give you $50,000 to keep quiet about it, sign the NDA, all that stuff, non-disclosure agreement, blah 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 blah. So okay, sure, that's possible. That could have happened. It's also possible that maybe who knows what happened. There's not really video of this situation. Maybe that's because Warner Brothers got a hold of it in time and did the whole NDA thing. Who knows? But you would think it would have released that somewhere, would have leaked somewhere, that someone in that karaoke bar would have released this video. So because we weren't there, we can't really say what happened, what didn't happen, blah, 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 blah. Comfort Scuba says, I'm guessing Henry Cavill's an angel compared to everyone. Laugh out loud. God bless our Superman. He is really the Man of Steel. Yeah, Henry Cavill's a good guy. I think he understood, right? Like I remember Henry Cavill doing an interview where he said, when people see you, he understood the responsibility of Superman. When people see you, you are no longer Henry Cavill. You are now Superman. And he knew what that meant to when kids looked at him. That's, oh my God, that's Superman, right? And that's the unfortunate truth of when you take a role of a superhero as an actor, is that your personal life will never be the same, because now no longer does anyone recognize you for who you truly are. They look at you as their childhood superhero, right? Adam West, that's why he took it up as Batman, realized the importance of what he was doing. It was such a big deal for the kids. And because of that, I still believe that's why Adam West's Batman has such a strong place in a lot of people's hearts, because he was Batman, right? Like he never, that cowl never left him, and it hurt his career. In a lot of cases, that is what happens to superhero actors. They can't be seen as anything else but that, So Ezra, similar situation. He is the Flash, just like Grant Gustin. For some people, that's the Flash. So when kids watch that show, that is the Flash. As my brother-in-law said, Grant Gustin made him fall in love with the Flash. So Grant Gustin will always have a soft place in his heart as the Flash. The unfortunate thing with Ezra here is that literally you think it's a win, right? Like, oh my God, he might come out of this a bit, a little bit unscathed. It's still a bit of an alarming situation. You heard rumors that there was a quick meeting, an emergency meeting with Warner Brothers, but then they had them retract that statement. But like I said, when they retracted that statement, there was a weird little quote that they put in there where they said nothing of that magnitude happened. So meaning something was said about Ezra, but maybe it just wasn't an emergency meeting. Maybe there was some discussion brought up about Ezra and his situation. Well, if you believe some scoopers like Mikey's son, who tends to have a really great track record, he apparently says that after this whole event, the first event at the karaoke bar that he got bailed out on and stuff like that, had to pay like a $500 fine, that Toby Emmerich of Warner Brothers convinced Zaslav, saying, hey, this is going to be a one-time thing. We're going to get Ezra help. We're going to take care of this. We can get him on track. That he personally helped Ezra, or not he personally, but Warner Brothers personally set up a therapy session for Ezra to try to get him help, because clearly something's going on here. Not too much later, Ezra gets arrested again. This is really bad news, and unfortunately still in Hawaii. Here's from a Deadline article. They say the Flash star Ezra Miller arrested for assault in Hawaii. Warner Brothers silent as superhero pick still expected to be released in 2023. And here's the article by Tom Tapp that was released yesterday. Ezra Miller plays the Flash on the big screen, but the actor isn't proving so quick at keeping below the police radar. Shots fired. For the second time in as many months, the actor has been arrested by Hawaiian police. See details of his March 28th bust below. The Hawaii Police Department said in a statement today that shortly after 1 a.m. on Tuesday, April 19, 2022, 20-year-old visitor from Vermont was arrested for second-degree assault after an incident at a residence. It goes on, during the course of their investigation, police determined that the individual, later identified as Ezra Miller, became irritated after being asked to leave, once again being asked to leave, right? And reportedly threw a chair, striking a 26-year-old female in the forehead, resulting in an approximate half-inch cut on her forehead. So already this is worse than what happened at the karaoke bar. There's no escaping this one. Booked and with a mugshot taken, Miller was released earlier this morning, according to police, who was also indicated that their investigation is ongoing. Deadline has heard that Warner Brothers brass haven't been sweating the Miller headlines. He's not committed to appear in any more Fantastic Beasts movies, and The Flash doesn't come out in theaters until next summer on June 23rd, 2023. So basically, when reached Tuesday, Warner Brothers declined to comment on latest Miller's arrest. The actor's lawyer did not respond to a request for comment on the matter when contacted by Deadline today. So Warner Brothers silent, right? But according to that Deadline article, they're making it sound like Warner Brothers is just going to kind of try to wait it out, to see what the reaction is, what's the demand. And in a funny way, Ezra's status amongst the LGBTQ community, in all fairness, has probably benefited Ezra from not being canceled so rapidly or quickly from the community, right? From the general audience community. So in a bad way, that's kind of enabled Ezra to, I don't know, maybe feel like he's untouchable in a way. I mean, clearly he's not untouchable. He got arrested twice. And not only that, there was an incident where he choked that one girl a few years ago, right? But just like then, Warner Brothers didn't really make a comment. They waited, they stayed silent, and people forgot about it. Once again, in a way, a blessing in disguise, with the Flash film being delayed until June of 2023. Ezra starts doing all this stuff again, all this, violence. And it's now wait and see. We got a year to hopefully people forget about it. Unfortunately, I feel like this is baseball right now, Corey. You know what I'm saying? This is strike one, strike two, and now this is strike three, especially if you believe what Mikey Sutton is saying about Toby Emmerich going up to bat for Ezra, saying we can get him on track. We're going to take care of this. Don't give up on Ezra yet, to David Zaslav. We're getting him therapy. And then not within, I don't know, maybe 48 hours, this goes down. And now, not only that, a person has injuries, a cut, he's going to get sued. He's a celebrity. Who wouldn't sue a celebrity for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your thoughts on this whole situation, Corey?
Oh man, it's not good. It's definitely not good.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about it some and kind of put it in proportion. And yes, it was kind of his third strike, right? From a Warner Brothers standpoint. I think by now we all know that actors in Hollywood's a bunch of crazies. You think about all the people that get arrested and stuff like that,
especially for people who are still in the business, who have done some pretty shady things.
Yeah,
right?
Well, it almost does it kind of seem familiar to Shia going kind of nuts? I know for Shia it was more of an alcohol problem and things like that.
Yeah.
But and he's back in the game now. People don't necessarily like working with him, I hear, but he made it back. Do I think that there's a possibility for second chances and to get back to what they need to do? I think yes, but this is certainly not good. It's not looking too high, so at this point the movie's done, minus the additional things that they had to, CGI and all that shit. So,
Yeah.
How much money did they put into the Flash?
I mean, it's over 200 million. And once you think about the amount of marketing they're going to have to do, it's going to be very similar to the Batman.
So it's
Because they also had to do COVID protocols, just like the Batman. People were like, "Oh my god, the Batman only cost like $125 million." But then COVID raised the cost of that because they had to do all these safety protocols, and it ended up becoming a bigger budget film than realized. And then they marketed it to hell, to where even at 700 million, they barely could make a profit, And I mean, and that's if you believe that altogether it was $400 million for a budget. And how theaters work, you make less and less money for each week that it's out because you're paying to have it in there. So who knows how much the Batman made profit wise.
And in some ways too, I feel like the Snyderverse community, that family, the Restore the Snyderverse family, is a very forgiving, very a very get the help that you need, type of community. So we're at a really tough point now because 200 million is not a lot of, is not some chump change. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but they're banking on the Flash film so much. The Flash film, when you consider what's going on with the DC film slate currently and in 2023, the Flash film is a big deal to the entire DC film slate because it's going to affect everything. So they need this film to do well. They put a lot of eggs in this basket, for it to be successful. Because I mean, if this film is trash, and don't get me wrong, guys, when Ezra's going to be in the Flash film, they're not going to be able to afford taking him out of the Flash film.
Well,
because
if they have a bunch of CGI stuff that they have to do, what's them stopping them from doing like a deep fake with a new actor, like a different
face? How much that costs? I mean, there's a reason why Disney,
I don't know. Yeah.
It's insane. It's an insane amount of money. That's why it's used very scarcely, I mean, what Zach was able to do with the character in Army of the Dead, that was simply because that character wasn't a major role in the first place. So he could kind of go around it, where he filmed a completely different actor. But even for a situation like that comedian, I'm totally spacing his name, had rumors and allegations of sexual harassment, to where Netflix asked Zach, like, hey, like, we know you already filmed this. Can you? And Zach was like, well, that's kind of a big deal. We probably shouldn't have him in this film. So Zach then redid the whole film. So that was a cost on Netflix's part. But that was because Netflix was willing to do it. We already know David Zaslav isn't a big fan of overly spending, and already the Flash film is already in that neighborhood of overspending. So, and Corey, you kind of said it last night when I first messaged you, and I was like, dude, we're going to have to do a show tomorrow. You won't believe what happened. When I told you about Ezra, you're like, David Zaslav doesn't, strike me as a guy who, who puts up with this kind of shit.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, and
Ezra does not live in Hawaii Kung Fu School, but I believe technically he's from Vermont, but I believe he lives in LA now. Yeah. And that's actually his court date from his first incident with the karaoke stuff got moved up because he had to get back to LA and I think even New York. So they were working with Ezra to get things going for him, and he kind of bit the hand that fed him. Cocaine is a powerful drug, Rick James. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to speculate that he's doing drugs. I mean, simply because we don't know, and I don't want to spread the rumor that he's doing drugs, but clearly there's something going on And here's personally what I kind of think about the whole situation. First off, Integrity says Ezra is still the main character and Michael Keaton's return as Batman. I don't think he'll be recast as fired, especially with Flash a year away and Zack Snyder's Justice 2 obviously coming down the pipeline. I mean, yeah, he's definitely not going anywhere for the Flash film. They can't spend the money on it. And if anything, maybe this is a decision where they say, okay, we like this film is already at a and here's why I say that. I don't think Ezra Miller was the reason why Fantastic Beast failed, or at least is not doing so hot in the box office. It only made $43 million this last opening weekend. Now, granted, none of the Fantastic Beast films have been doing insanely well at the box office. But this film especially was surrounded with conspiracies and conflict with J.K. Rowling's and everything she has said on Twitter, and people trying to cancel her. And now you got Ezra Miller, who has done not one, not two, but three things, especially two things in the last couple of months that have made big headlines. And you kind of have to look at that and go, and where I was saying, like, I heard coworkers who don't even pay attention to this stuff. They were talking about Ezra today, like, oh my God, that boy need to get it together. He's crazy. Like, oh my God, they just need to get rid of him. And that sucks. That really does suck when you have the general audience thinking that, because that's really what studios care about. They don't care about DC fans like myself, what we think. Really, they don't really care. They care about the general audience, because the truth is there's more of them than there are us. So they're going to pay attention what the public perception is of Ezra, and it's not good right now for him. It's not setting him up for success, which is unfortunate, because he is a brilliant actor. They do a really good job. Ezra has the ability to be absolutely spectacular. I mean, he won that scene. I mean, technically it was, also visuals and stuff like that for Oscars, but even Ezra in Fantastic Beasts as Cadence, he's wonderful in that. In all the other films that he's done, where he's been absolutely spectacular in, it's really an unfortunate situation. And he's so young to where, yes, there is time for him to turn this around. And first off, before I give my opinion, I think of what needs to happen here next. Imagine if the Flash is a success. They aren't going to want to recast him in the sequel in Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. I think it'll be dealt with, and we'll all forget this eventually. I think that's possible, Integrity. I really do. In terms of the Flash being a success, I don't know. I haven't heard good things about the film and its production. I've heard a lot of issues with it, and that it's not quite a clean film. Now, CinemaCon is coming up next week, and word on the street is Warner Brothers is going to be showing the Black Adam film and the Flash film, and possibly Aquaman, some stuff from Aquaman 2. Now, or Shazam. Sorry, I think it was Shazam. I don't think they're showing stuff from Aquaman 2. I'm hoping to hear back. I have a few people who are going to be there at CinemaCon. I'm hoping to hear some scoops, maybe. But I mean, they might take that off. With all the stuff surrounding Ezra, they might not allow that to be at CinemaCon yet, to kind of let it die down, because you don't want people going into that theater at CinemaCon with like already this perception of Ezra as a crazy person, and the already a negative mindset going in watching the Flash film. You're going to want people going in with an open mind, ready to watch the scene, because this film is already going to be a crazy, insane, hard. I think it's going to be difficult for the general audience to really understand this film, because rather than like Disney, who took their time to explain, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, took their time to explain the multiverse through streaming shows like Loki, all the way to Spider-Man No Way Home, and now Doctor Strange. Warner Brothers is just throwing you into it, into this multiverse. So, and plus the constant confusion from fans on what's canon, who's Batman, who's this, who's Superman. Everyone's confused right now, especially the general audience. El Necron says, from what I've experienced from Out of Control cokeheads, it looks like a classic case, but hey, it very well could be. I feel like it would be inappropriate for me to be like, oh, it's coke, it's drugs. He's, I mean, when it could be something just mentally, and plus I don't know. Like the truth is, I'm not going to lie to you and say this is what it is. I'm going to be honest and say there's something going on. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is,
and
it needs
I
to be
would
taken
say
care of.
too, if it was cocaine, not saying that it's not cocaine, that the law enforcement officers working the case would obviously do their job, and if they expected that he was on something, they would be testing him, and I would assume that would come out eventually as well if he's actually
absolutely. Did I see Baby Girl in the chat too? Baby Girl, what's up?
Girl is in the chat.
Good to see you, Baby Girl. It's always good. People are forgetting about the slap around the world. He needs to live. He needs to leave Jada ASAP. Ezra drama will pass. I think it will. I mean, like I said, they're very lucky the Flash film comes out in a year because plenty of things can happen till then for it to be calmed down and people to forget about. I mean, general audience minds, they tend to, be very quick. How's it in Ted Lasso? Have the memory of a goldfish,
I liked what Integrity said earlier, though, too, in the sense that imagine if the Flash was a success. I know you.
I mean, exactly. That does force the Flash. I mean, that does force Warner Brothers to keep Ezra, because if the Flash, let's just say by some miracle, the Flash does break $1 billion, they're not going to get rid of Ezra because you would think unless if Ezra did something so god awful that was completely unforgivable.
So how much money? I guess I think I would think that if the Flash comes out, for sure. I would wonder though, if there is I'm hopeful that Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 is inevitable. I could see them though, depending on how things go, at one point in the movie, end of the movie, they could do some reshoots, have, a different Barry come into the mix.
Like Grant Gustin taking over. I know I don't think that's going to be the case, but I mean, example, now, right? An option.
Yes, exactly. But now it's even more so like a possibility or a different version of Flash. We're opening the multiverse. I think that there's ways to get around this, and like I said, I don't think Zaslav is a guy that plays around, and he's not going to be too happy about this. Now, I hope Ezra gets the help that he needs, but he also needs to pay for what he did. He needs to face the consequences, and
absolutely. I mean, honestly, that is the best thing for him is to actually face the consequences of this, like to not get a free pass like he has on these last few attempts. Now, I think here's what I think needs to happen. Ezra needs to come out publicly, whether it's written by Warner Brothers, whoever, I don't care.
No,
I think, hear me out. Ezra needs to come out and say, this is what's going on in my life. I'm working on it. These actions that I've done are wrong.
But people are going to know if somebody wrote that for him. He needs to come out, and if you're going to go that, he needs to say himself.
Well, yes, I know that, but I'm not saying it be literally a tweet that says, I think Ezra needs to have a full on, hey, this is what's going on with me, and I'm getting the help I need. Because here's the truth. A similar kind of thing, I mean, not as bad, but a similar kind of, when you think of bad publicity, happened with Ben Affleck with his drinking problem, right? He got really bad in a place to where people were talking about how he's cheating on his wife, he's gambling, making him look out to be a very horrible person. There was even rumors on, sexual harassment from Ben Affleck when he was, younger, back in early 2000 days with Jeffrey D. Morgan's wife. There was that whole thing. So Ben Affleck was having a bad rep surrounding him. But how did he take care of that? He was open about his alcoholism. He got the help he needed. And now look at him. It's no one really remembers that other than people who try to troll Ben Affleck, but he took care of the situation. He was open about taking care of the situation. And now he's,
you have to be nowadays, especially with how viral your smallest thing or biggest mishap is going to happen. Look at Will Smith. And it was, I can't remember who mom or dad said, but who said it. But it was something along the lines that they had a friend who said this, that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. That was a grand gesture, right? That was extremely public. And then the apology for it was embarrassing for Will Smith, I'm sure, to do that on camera. But people don't think his apology is, valid by any means, because all he did was a tweet. They said something along the lines where if it's a grand gesture, mistake, it needs to be a grand gesture apology, something along those lines. So I agree. You need to be upfront and public about, hey, this is what happened. I'm, going to get the help. Now, obviously, you can't talk much about a case if there's an active case going on and everything like that.
Yes, there is truth to that.
But I think if I was David Zaslav, I would make him do something like that, or encourage him to do something like that, whether he does it or not. But he has to say it himself. He has to figure it out himself.
Because the truth is, if nothing happens from here, like, let's just say, I don't know. I truly don't think Warner Brothers is, maybe they would, because what's $1 million for a film that could make $1 billion? That's chump change, right? In the long scheme of things. But no matter what, I would hope that someone like David Zaslav would look at this situation, especially if you believe what Mikey Sutton said over on Sil Abdul's show with, Toby Emmerich pleading with Zaslav to be like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like, we're going to take care of the situation. And then this happens, I just think Zaslav is one of those people, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I don't think he's going to allow that. I think he's going to sit down with Ezra's agent and maybe Ezra himself and be like, you need to get this shit together, bro. If you want a future with our company and working with DC, you need to guarantee you need to be at therapy every damn week, and I need to see improvement. Basically, you get one more shot, and if you screw this up, you're out, you're done. Robert Downey Jr. Had a bad history. If Ezra puts in the work now, I believe they can still salvage this. Absolutely. And Robert Downey Jr. is a wonderful example of someone who hit rock bottom, and then completely turned it around. But it took a studio and also like Jon Favreau to really take a chance on Robert Downey Jr. Now, how did they also do that? I don't know if you guys know this story, but like when Paramount was making the first Iron Man film, and Jon Favreau was like, he is Iron Man. Like, you need to pick him. They didn't want to go his route. I think they were still on the Tom Cruise train. And they basically, he's like, but this is who Tony Stark is. Like, he's a man who is an alcoholic, who does these stupid things, who redeems himself. This is why it needs to be Robert Downey Jr. And basically the final thing to convince Robert Downey Jr. For Paramount to convince to have Robert Downey Jr. was he had to take a major pay cut. Robert Downey Jr. got paid dirt for all things considering for Iron Man for the first one. Obviously, we know what happened later because he became the mega star, and it very well, this could be a similar situation for Ezra. He could still have the opportunity to become a big mega star, but only if he faces facts. Only if I watched the video of him, being questioned by the judge and stuff like that. And I don't know how to tell you his reaction other than he feels embarrassed, but I don't get the sense that there's something going on there, that it's just not hitting with him, that it's just, this is a problem that he needs to confront and that he has to accept and realize there is a problem here. And if I want my life just to be better, forget the Flash, right? Forget any future film, just himself and his own mental health. He's going to have to find his support system and those around him who care about him personally and get him on the right track, get himself, have the own encouragement and the own motivation, self-motivation to take care of this problem that he has and to get back on the right track. Because if he does get back on the right track, not only is it better for him just as an individual and those around him, but he will help, you know, Warner Brothers Discovery out, you know, with the Flash film to have good publicity around it, because you can't get rid of Ezra for the Flash film at this moment. He is the main character, but not only that, he's not playing one character. He's playing at least 2 characters in this film, and possibly 3 if you believe some of the leaks that have been going on. So he's very important in this film. There's no way of getting rid of him. He's going to be stuck in the Flash film, and it's really on him now, other than if it's a good story and a good film. But you don't want to start this film in a bad place when already things aren't looking up for it, you know? So he needs to figure it out. They need to figure it out.
But I don't know if it's necessarily fair to say that, you know, I agree with you. Can he come back from this? Absolutely. Can he turn his life around? Absolutely. I still think that there is a possibility if he continues on the current track that he's on right now, they will recast and reshoot.
I think I still don't think, because like I said, the amount of money they're gonna have to spend, it's not even worth it at that time. Like at that moment, you just drop the film.
Yeah, drop the film.
Or I don't think they'll drop it. I think if anything, it won't have any. It'll have little to zero marketing, and they'll just do HBO Max. Okay. I can see that.
Okay.
I mean, there's really no point.
But you know, look at all the things that they, you know, take down all the time. You know, from, you know, not supporting a person anymore. So it makes you wonder if, you know, he definitely needs to change things around, because if he doesn't and he continues on the track, I think that they're a potential, you know, recasting. And I think if they want to still have a Flash movie, they would probably do some reshooting as well. But I agree with what you're saying. I do think that he can turn it around. I think he's going to be under a microscope for the.
Oh, totally.
Know,
like, you know, that's why the best thing for him to do is to come out and be honest and to say, I'm going to get help.
Yeah.
And for people to see the improvement. But not only that, I mean, look at Ben Affleck, how vocal he has been about his alcoholism. Like every interview, he almost brings up like a lot of the characters he's played lately, you know, from The Way Back to The Tender Bar, where he was like saying like, yeah, this was an issue for me, and I recognize that in myself, and like this is how I'm doing better, you know. And he's turned his life around by being open about it, just like Robert Downey Jr. While it is difficult still for him to talk about some of those things that has happened to him, it's better for him to come out and be like, this is what I've done. I know what I've done. I'm sorry for what I've done, but more than I'm sorry, I'm working to make it right. You know,
how old is Ezra Miller?
I think 29? He's technically 28. I know the article said he was 29, but I thought he was 28. Based off the interview he did, he said he was 28.
It looks, I just did a quick Google search. It looks like he's 29. I guess here's the difference between Robert Downey Jr. and Ben Affleck. They're older, you know. They went through some of these issues later in life. You know, he's still under 30. He has a lot of girls.
Like he doesn't have the maturity to take care of it.
I think that's a legitimate concern that we should all have.
I mean, that's fair. But in a way, I mean, when you think about it, Robert Downey Jr. had it for many, many years, this issue, before he went to jail finally for it. And then Ben Affleck, he was having problems in early 2000s, you know, with allegations coming out about him and stuff like that. And then to the point where his alcoholism, and I don't like talking about his alcoholism because that's his deal. Right. But, you know, and people often put that blame on, you know, saying like, oh, well, see, that's why he shouldn't have been the Batman and stuff like that. But like, in a way, that's what made him a good Batman, right? Like, I'm not saying his alcoholism made him a better Batman. I'm saying the fact that he has gone through that struggle, that issue, it gave Batman a complexity to play a better character, just like it did for, Robert Downey Jr. with Tony Stark being an alcoholic. He understands that. And some of the best performances from Ben Affleck, man. Corey, I don't know if you've seen The Way Back. It's a tragic film, but man, is it like one of Ben Affleck's best acting performances ever.
Robert Downey Jr. went to jail when he was 34 years old.
34. And was it, if I recall, was it like 7 years in prison?
No, he got 3 years and he only served 1 year in prison.
Oh, okay.
I just looked it up. So, and if he, Robert Downey Jr. was going downhill, that's that.
Yeah, his acting career was certainly not.
Yeah,
like Ezra's is on the way up. Robert Downey Jr.'s was kind of on the way down. 2008
is when Iron Man 1 came out, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So 1999, spent a year in jail. 2000, 8 years later, for Iron Man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be surprised that they do some reshooting. And this is my opinion, not how I feel. If I was Zaslav, I would reshoot a possible scene that a different Flash gets crossed over and shows up somehow, For if he does mess up again, we can plug in that scene and future movies or such could be under the new Flash, in my opinion.
It's fair.
Have that plan B ready to go.
Yes, to recast, not to reshoot. Let's see, integrity, bottom line. The studio gains nothing from replacing him. If things get worse, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And I think that's the theme, integrity. Is like the studio obviously doesn't want to get to that point, and that's why they need to get Ezra needs to get ahead of this.
Absolutely.
Because the perception is bad around him. And not only that, like I said, I don't think people blame him for the box office of Fantastic Beasts, but I would be willing to guess that the studio is looking at every possible reason of why the Fantastic Beasts didn't do so well,
Absolutely.
I just
Craig they're movies, not going to want to fall into another Johnny Depp scenario.
Well, see, and we'll talk about that too. Comic Book Craig movie says, I'm just saying, but the people with the gender concerns seem to have some mental issues. But they could always recast after this film is dropped, like they did with Batman and Rhodes. Oh, Batman and Robin? Is that what you mean? Batman and Rhodes? I don't know what that is. I think with Ezra, I guess it really comes down to what can he do to just get his life better. Like, that's why I say, like, kind of forget about the Flash film.
Yes.
He has to put himself first at this moment, to because he has a year really, he has the year before marketing's going to really kick up for the Flash film. Obviously they would hope to have him there at DC Fandom this year, but like, he really needs to take care of himself. So that way, in the long run, if he takes care of himself, he takes care of the Flash, in a way. But I was even thinking with, when you think about David Zaslav, man, you got to feel bad a little bit for him because he really is coming into a dumpster fire when it comes to Warner Brothers and DC Films and all that shit. Because when you think about, he took over this company, they've already lost IP that he was originally signed on to have control over, like Godzilla and the Monsterverse. They went over to Apple TV Plus to do a spin-off show when it easily should have been at HBO Max. They've lost other IP with Christopher Nolan, and then here he is already, The Flash, which has to be one of the biggest films on DC film slate, with Michael Keaton returning and everyone else who is all part of this DC multiverse. It's a big, huge, ambitious film that they're trying to achieve here. And your main star is having bad publicity after bad publicity after bad publicity. And now, not only that, we learned that Amber Heard, according to Walter Hamada during the Johnny Depp trial, he actually wanted to get rid of her, because chemistry wasn't great with Jason Momoa and blah, 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 blah. He didn't want to bring her back for Aquaman 2. And apparently Toby Emmerich said, dude, the movie made $1 billion. You have to keep Amber. And plus, not only that, we think the hashtag Me Too community is going to attack us if we get rid of her. Now they're in this situation where Amber Heard, it's looking like she's going to lose this case because of everything. I mean, she has people testifying on her side who are revealing bad things. I watched the whole thing yesterday with Johnny Depp's portion, and even before that, some of the other people who have, eyewitness accounts of her being the one that was the problem. So it's not looking good for her, to the point where she's now going to completely hurt the Aquaman film, when this film, especially Aquaman 2, had a chance to be another $1 billion film, and she is killing it. And if Toby Emmerich would have, in this weird case, listened to Walter Hamada, who wanted to get rid of her and, maybe recast her with someone like Emilia Clarke, like David Zaslav is having to deal with that shit now too. So it doesn't end for him. He has another thing to freaking think about and deal with, because this is another case of, I don't know, how the hell do you fix this situation with the Aquaman film? Because once again, the film has been shot.
That's why,
done.
But that's why I'm not entirely sure that they won't start changing things up. And Zodrider, this is exactly what I'm saying, man. The reshoots would be to turn Ezra's Flash into a different actor at the end. The multiverse actually gives an out for this situation if Ezra doesn't shape up. And
it potentially could, but I think it's such a lazy writing cop out if they did add something at the end that it would come out of nowhere, in a way. Like, I don't see how they could tell that story smoothly to have the main character all of a sudden just be like, boom, you're gone.
Well, maybe it's towards the beginning then. They do a lot of.
But then that's basically a complete reshoot.
Well, yes and no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Zodrider says sorry. Did you already read that? Oh yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. El Necron, I'm out, everyone. Have fun. It's good seeing you, El Necron. Thank you so much for your super chat earlier, bro. I really do appreciate it. Comic Book Craig movie says he totally can bounce back. Everyone messes up at certain stages of their lives. Rhodes from Iron Man. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he can totally bounce back, and we have been saying that. Like, I think he can, and I hope he does. I really hope he does, because he is a brilliant actor. It's just one of those things where he needs to figure it out. She ain't losing though. I don't know. Based off everything I've been listening to, it hasn't looked good for her. But I mean, you're welcome to that opinion. Especially, I mean, the fact that Walter Hamada came out and said, stuff that was damaging towards her, like that's her boss, and her boss was saying, I wanted to fire her, but I couldn't. Yeah. Like, that doesn't. I don't know how she doesn't look at that as like a slap in the face. And to publicly come out and said she had bad chemistry with Jason Momoa, that's not good. Like, you're not helping the film. Hot take, not a fan of the Emilia Clarke recasting, too short compared to Amber. I think if there is a choice, like, Emilia Clarke would be something that would boost people's confidence in Aquaman 2, because they loved her chemistry with Jason Momoa, and Jason Momoa loved her chemistry, and she would easily be a strong female character for that role. So it's like one of those scenes where the publicity is good, the Game of Thrones audience is happy, and people already like their chemistry between each other, to where it's like it's kind of like the one of those scenes where it's like an easy solution that they might just do.
Sure.
But all things considering, man, its integrity says, yeah, Zaslav is taking over a dumpster fire, but at the same time, he's kind of like a new head coach taking over a bad team that purposely had Joe Montana sitting on the bench. Snyderverse, etc. It'll be okay. Well, that's a wonderful example. Integrity. That's pretty good. Both Ezra and the studio have all the incentive to fix this. It's most likely it gets fixed. Yeah, I think it will. overall, I have good faith in what Zaslav can achieve. Because he just seems like a go-getter. He seems like he gets things done. And I think he's a no bullshitter. While I think Emmerich and Hamada are bullshitters, and people who are running that shit, like I think Zaslav is kind of a tough love guy based off what I've seen from him. I think he'll be a tough love for Ezra. I think he'll sit down with him and be like, hey, here's the deal. Like, I need you to get better. I need you to get healthy again, and I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to get you the help you need, and you have the full support of us here. But you can't let me down. You can't disappoint me. You can't disappoint the fans. You can't disappoint every single person who worked on this film to help you achieve this new level of stardom, even, or just to achieve the best thing for the film and for the studio and for everyone involved and for the fans, right? There's a lot weighing on Ezra here. And that sucks. It really does suck, but it's the truth. And it's what you signed up for when you do a film like this. So I think David Zaslav, he's going to take care of things. He was going to get it going. I think Ezra, more importantly, though, Ezra needs to be the one to decide that he needs help, that he needs to make a change, because Zaslav can't do that for him. And I don't expect Zaslav to force him to make a decision that he doesn't think Ezra wants. If Ezra doesn't want help, then you can't help him. And I'm not saying Ezra doesn't want help, but I'm saying Ezra has to be the person that chooses to get the help he needs and to figure out what's going on, whether it's mental health issues or drugs or both or something else even, or maybe it's just a big misunderstanding about everything that we've heard. Maybe we're not getting the full story. That's a possibility too, because the truth is we're not getting the whole story. We have no idea what happened because none of us were there to witness it. We're only going off he said, she said, they said, that's the truth of it. So in the end, is the Flash film hurt by this entire situation? Abso-freaking-lutely. It's not a good thing. It's definitely not. No one can say this is a good thing. This is not one of those cases where bad publicity is good publicity. No, this is bad, publicity all the way around. Now, they have things going for it. Time. Weirdly, the Flash has time. Not a pun off words. The Flash has time to get this back on track, to change the perception around Ezra. Ezra has the opportunity to change his life, to improve it for himself and those around him, but mostly for himself. But he has to make that decision, Remember, Mikey was reporting the Amber Heard Mara trilogy. New regime changes everything. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's something that's definitely not going to happen now. The whole Amber Heard getting a Mara thing, that I don't see how they could bank off that at all. And if they do decide to do it, they're going to lowball the budget completely. I don't see it happen. I don't see Amber being Mira for much longer. I think it'll be a recast after Aquaman 2, because unfortunately I think you're stuck. I think it costs too much to fix that stuff. Unfortunately, I think that's just the truth of it. But yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts on Ezra. I hope he gets the help that he needs, they need, and I hope they can course correct this for Ezra and for the Flash film. I think his future is in question a bit, but I don't think it's lost yet. Would you agree with that, Corey, or do you think this is, we're just biding time?
I know a year is, seems like a long time for some. I'm worried that it's not enough time, personally, like if he has some serious issues, a year is really not that long of a time. It takes time, Robert Downey Jr. spent a year in prison. So it's really not that much time, and that's what concerns me. Like, he has a lot to fix and a lot to work out before things get moved on. David Zaslav right from the get-go has been very, it seems like he's changing direction, and the people that are in the way for Warner Brothers he's obviously getting rid of. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. I hope the best for him. I hope he gets better. I'm extremely nervous. Yellow Devil, Corey, I was sleeping while you took the Super Channel online, right? Oh, I see what you're doing there, Yellow Devil. Integrity says, I don't usually follow celebrity drama. But I listened to some of Amber Heard's conversations with Johnny, and she is batshit crazy. I don't buy for 1 second that she's a victim. She's a nightmare. I completely agree with that.
I mean, yeah, they're both at fault for the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They're both.
They definitely played.
With relationships, it's always a two-way street, right?
Yeah.
Like no one is completely the problem, and no one is completely innocent in it. It from what I've heard, and like I said, this is outside looking in. It doesn't look good on Amber Heard's part. That's just the truth of it. No matter what, both I believe in fairness. I believe in equal, punishment and equal opportunity and stuff like that. And the fact that Johnny Depp lost his role for Fantastic Beasts and future roles, and possibly it sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean 6 or 5, whatever it is, and the fact that there was no denying that she did some messed up stuff. Okay. She should have got the same treatment because they were both contracted from the same studio. Warner Brothers should have handled them both the same if they were going to get rid of them. If Johnny Depp was going to lose his job, Amber needed to lose hers because they were both at fault for the same type of shit. Depending on who did it more, you say it.
It's going to be interesting too because David Zaslav is not used to this Hollywood world yet either. Yes, he's been in Discovery and everything like that, but in a lot of ways, he really had to deal with these high profile crazy actors. And I almost think of Tropic Thunder, gotta spank that ass,
with Les Grossman.
Yeah, it's insane. Integrity 101 says Ezra just needs to run real fast, go back in time, and prevent all of this from happening.
I wish.
Ezra Miller is still better than Allison Mack. # somebody save me. Yes, Allison Mack is a horrible person. So I won't disagree with you there. And I'm surprised she only got 3 years in prison for.
Well, in all fairness, she was. I believe she was subject to a victim of that abuse too. She was just the wrangler, basically, from my understanding. Yeah. But she is definitely at fault for a lot of that abuse that happened.
Yeah.
So she deserved punishment. Absolutely.
Did you see the chat, by the way?
What's that? Sorry.
Did you see the chat, by the way?
Oh, the private chat.
Yeah.
Oh, here I'll pull it up real quick. So that's what's going on with the Ezra situation, guys. And I know it's unfortunate. Thank you so much, Oracle. I appreciate the support. I know it's an unfortunate situation, but the truth is, and this is the hard fact we have to look at, is that there is a problem going on here, and it could affect the success of DC, the Flash film. But more importantly, Ezra's future and livelihood is at stake. If he doesn't take care of, that's the most important thing, is that his future could be tarnished if he can't get this on track. And not only that, I don't want to put it in grave dire that he could lose his life over this kind of thing, but I just want him to, I just want Ezra to be happy. I just want Ezra to, with anyone, be happy, live life to the fullest, and be in a good place, enjoy life, that's all that matters in the end. So Corey, I'm looking at this article, I just
wanted you to take a peek real quick, obviously, but first, before we get there, as you're looking at that, Trevor H, my man, Trevor H with the super chat, $9.99. Just wanted to say this is a fantastic stream. I appreciate your positivity and honesty. Hashtag World's Finest, best YouTube channel. Trevor H, man, we certainly appreciate you, brother. That's super, super nice of you to say. So we absolutely love you being here, and thanks for, you've been here since the beginning. So
Thanks,
truly
Trevor H.
appreciate you, Trevor. So let me see here. We got to get a good one for Trevor. Oh, we haven't done this one in a while.
What are your...
This one.
How did you get the house back from the bank?
I bought the bank.
Boom. Thank you so much, Trevor. Appreciate you, brother. So, yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, like we said, he gets the help that he needs. We'll see
this
what
is
happens.
an interesting article you sent me, Corey. So Corey sent me an article from CNBC, and it's written by Alex Sherman. And this article's headline is Warner Brothers Discovery's David Zaslav has charmed the Hollywood elite. Now he'll have to show he can manage them too. This came out April 11th, so about a little over a week ago. But it says David Zaslav officially takes over as the new CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery as the company begins trading on the NASDAQ on Monday. Zaslav is known for his gregarious personality and has been on a months-long listening tour of Hollywood. Friends say he has a chance to be Hollywood's next leader with high emotional intelligence, but he'll have to be careful not to disenfranchise current leadership or get bogged down in minutia. I have no idea. But it may be the right time for a new man because the industry is changing so rapidly. Minutia. Thank you.
That's what you're trying to say. I don't have the article pulled up anymore. So.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's a big word for the Bat Channel. It may be the right time for a new man because the industry is changing so rapidly. Longtime Zaslav associate Lloyd Blankton told CNBC. So they say emotional intelligence. Now that's very interesting. Now,
right.
How I look at this article right here is that people are basically saying that he lacks experience with Hollywood, which may explain why he has some of the current regime still around, like Toby Emmerich, at least until we find someone better. Because right now, Toby Emmerich does know the business and the Hollywood elites better than Zaslav does. And that is a fair statement. Now, while I would say Emmerich doesn't know it well enough, and he has hurt the Warner Brothers Hollywood business, especially, I would still say that, the truth is Emmerich does know a little bit more of that side than he does. God, are we getting spammed right now?
I took care of it.
Thank you. I just saw like a whole bunch of deleted messages. So I think with this, clearly Zaslav is doing his research, right? Like he's taking this very seriously, as he should. He's making some big bucks over at Warner Brothers Discovery, and he is the captain of the ship right now, especially a ship that's falling apart, unfortunately, not by his own doing though. But this is the deal he signed for. But I think he's coming in with the level of respect and the enthusiasm and level of integrity that's going to take to right this ship into a very profitable life, because in the end, that's all he cares about, right? It's not about storytelling, even though it is, right? But it's about profits. And that's why it's so important for Ezra to get his shit on track, for getting DC on track, because as I said from our last live show, some clown tried to tell me that DC wasn't a priority in Zaslav's eyes, and yet here it is. DC overhaul. They're gonna make it DC Studios essentially. DC is important to his future plans for Warner Brothers Discovery, and they're gonna have to really they're going to have to nail it. And right now it's not off to a good start. And like I said, not because of him, unfortunately, it's just the cards he's been dealt, and he's having to turn in the hand that he has and fool Hollywood to winning the pot, because it's not looking great on, for his start. But Yellow Devil says, Trey, when will the Bat Channel merge with Warner Brothers Discovery? I think it's time for Hamada as your new creative boss for the podcast. Never. Off topic, Integrity says, was the Riddler and the Batman better than any of the three main villains in Nolan's trilogy? No. As a Batman fan who's seen every Batman fan, no. He was great in the first half. The second half, no, I disagree with that. But that's my take. I'm sure people who love the Batman were like, he's the best thing since sliced bread, and congratulations if you love that. Good. I think he's a great star. I think he had some great themes, some things that I didn't not appreciate it, but some things I was kind of like, nah, you lost me. But yeah, something to consider. So guys, as we come to the end of our show, we have our next live show of Halo Episode 5 review, The Reckoning, this Saturday. I think, Corey, is 10 a.m. still good for you, Mountain Time? So 12 p.m. Eastern Time?
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, so we'll still do our Halo Episode 5 review this Saturday. Make sure you guys join us on that because, like I said, YouTube doesn't recognize us as like a Halo channel or anything like that. They just recognize us as DC. So they really promote our DC stuff. But when we are expanding our channel to be more than just DC, which we have been, I mean, we do a lot of Jurassic World content, which we have a great reaction video and breakdown up right now. And I'm going to be releasing another Jurassic World video from a TV spot tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But please join us on these Halo live streams because we have a great time with it. We really break down these shows and really tell you, we give our honest opinions. As huge Halo fans, we tell you, is this thing worth watching? Is it worth, checking out? But not only that, if you don't want to check it out and you just want to hear people talk about it, join us. We'll talk about it, and plus we're going to do some really cool stuff in the future when we're going to do like a Halo gaming night with our community.
I'm super excited for that, but this episode alone looked amazing from the trailer.
It looks like they're picking up the action
again. I'm getting excited. It's does it come out? What time does it technically upload onto?
Midnight tonight. So as soon as it hits Thursday, Halo Episode 5 is up.
Ooh.
I won't be up for that because I'm super tired. Today was a long day at work. Like you said, I recently got a promotion and been learning a new gig, so I'm tired.
Quit your job and become a full-time Bat Channel host.
I would love to do the Bat Channel full-time, but the Bat Channel does not pay. Like I said, we mostly donate most of our super chats. So. And if we do, it just goes right back into the show. So it's not like I get a super chat and buy coffee, At this time, I'd be like, please, sir, may I have some more? One day, the Bat Channel, my dream would be to have this mega super channel where we're just, raking in money to do like cool productions and stuff like that. But even then, I don't know if that money would go to us. Corey, throw the bubble shield to protect the super channel. Trey is a Covenant agent.
We are kind of a Mr. Beast style channel in that sense, where like everything goes right back to either charities or the stream, right?
Right. Yeah. That would be us. It'd be like finally we reach 100,000 subscribers. It'd be like, here's $100,000 check to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And that's when my dad goes like, let me get this straight. You started a YouTube channel. You're not earning any money. It is just like, why did you do this again? Like, Dad, I'm a YouTuber.
Down by the river.
Right. Guys, well, please join us this Saturday for Halo episode 5 review, The Reckoning. We hope to see you guys there. And as always, it helps us out so much when you guys share this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our shows. But more importantly, another thing that I've kind of learned about YouTube and analytics as I've done more research lately, it really helps us out that when this video ends, you leave a comment on the video, just like a hashtag Resource Snipers, hashtag Ezra Get Better, or I don't know, anything you want to comment, maybe a thought that you want to leave on our channel. But when you comment on the video after it's ended, it helps us so much to where YouTube looks at it as like, oh, there's activity going on this YouTube channel. Let's promote it. So it helps us so much when you comment on this video after. So please, 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 please take the time to do that, because the bigger our Bat family grows, the more exciting, the more crazy it gets with our channel. And it just gets fun. It gets a lot of fun. But guys, thank you so much for joining us as always. I'm your host, Trey, with
Super Bro Corey.
And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bad time.
Same bad channel. I'll
Have
see
a
you
good
later,
night,
guys.
everybody.
Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.